All right, guys. Well, hello and welcome back to In the Blind with Daddy Duck. Getting some things over with kind of early. We started a little bit early. In the Blind is brought to you by Custom Creek Ammunition, True Lock Choke Tubes, Biscuit Built 3D, Heyday Outdoors, and Animus. Excuse me. All right. So, first off, when we start, we're going to be talking about U.S. Fish and Game did it again. They did it again. But before we get into that, um, listen, a big, huge shout out to all the waterfowlers across the country who stepped up, sent their emails, text messages, phone calls, whatever they did to U.S. Fish and Game. We got over 200,000 signatures and stopped completely, 100% stopped this drain tile initiative that they were asking about. They actually came out with and I'm paraphrasing, but they came out and said they halted it. No more discussion about it. We're not going to talk about it. So huge shout out to all the waterfowlers across the country banding together. I mean, listen, we've been having some heated discussions between this spring and summer. You know, corn ponds, heated ponds, released ducks, arguments back and forth, for, against, and whatnot. And this was one issue that we all came together and said, nope, you're not going to mess with the duck factory. No, you're not going to do it. Well, we have another issue, not necessarily on the duck factory, but what U.S. Fish and Game is trying to do to some of the refuges uh, down here, especially in the South. There's some other states. I know South Carolina's involved, Georgia's involved. There may be some other states. I just haven't got all that information yet. This is something that's brand new, came out today. What's going on? So, and by the way, guys, if you come in, you got a comment section, just drop your comments, say hello, tell me who you are, where you're from, that kind of thing. If your first time here, say it. Hey, it's my first time here. And as we go, we'll start getting some questions and stuff in. But before we get into the refuges, I do need to put out a prayer request. One of my subscribers who comes in here quite often is Randy Nettles. His mother was involved in a fairly bad accident about 2 or 3 days ago. She is still in the hospital. She's got some broken bones and that kind of stuff. So, y'all do me a huge favor, and if you would, just pray for her as we go. I wanted to get that out of the way as well. How you doing, Mark? Hope everything is going well. So let's go ahead and just jump right in to this refuge thing. So U.S. Fish and Game came out with another, I would consider an RFI, request for information, about the refuges in South Carolina and Georgia. At least that's the one that I saw, where they are proposing. Understand this. This is proposing to accumulate more property. Now, you guys that know me well, have watched my channel, have followed me, you know that I'm a huge proponent of conservation. I'm all about waterfowl conservation. But I think this is stepping a little too far. And again, I got to keep saying this. It is a proposal. And it is basically saying that, and this is all paraphrasing and basically saying, you can go and read it. I tried to put it in the description, but it just didn't all fit. If someone wants to sell off or give away basically property, and the refuge may or may not incorporate it into their refuge. That is the proposal in a nutshell. In a nutshell, that's what they're saying. Now, you may say, because I said it, how's that a bad deal? At first, when you look at it, on the outside looking in, well, let me get a little detailed into and get very specific in my area. And we're talking the Santee National Wildlife Refuge. Now, the Wildlife Refuge here in South Carolina, at Santee, is, if you want to pull up a map, you can look at it, is located on Lake Marion, right at the I-95 corridor. So it'd be the north side of I-95. There's a refuge complex there. There's one across it, and then there's another one down the road called Cuddo. This is the Santee National Wildlife Refuge system. Their proposal, they have drawn a map and have hatch marked out areas that it appears to me that they're interested in. So if you look at that map, if you happen, and I wish I could put a map up here. Guys, I'm sorry. I was trying before I came in here how to figure out how to put a map up here, and I just couldn't do it. And let's see. And while we're I don't know if an image. Let me see if I can do an image file here. No, I won't be able to do that. And the reason I won't be able to do it is I don't have that image on my computer. I got it on my phone, and that's why I can't do it. Well, let me see if I can do this to kind of give you an idea. Let's see here. And I apologize for not being completely ready. And as we're trying, I'm going to attempt to put it up here as we're sitting here and talking, if it comes through. So if you look at the map, and hopefully I can get it up here in a minute, they if you're looking at I-95, I-95 goes this way. Over here in the northwestern side is where the Santee National Wildlife Refuge. Well, they basically wanted to take it from this point, and my hand's going like this, right? And then go straight to the west, almost to Pax Landing. I don't think it quite goes there. It may even stop just shy of Elliott's. So if you know the area, we're looking at Paradise Point, somewhere between Paradise Point and Elliott's, maybe a little bit beyond. Well, they want to incorporate all that. So if you're looking at it, it's the Billop Slough area, the Pecini Island area, the Super Flats area, Hickory Top Flats, Hickory Top Green Tree, and then all the way up, and then all the way across the lake to a certain point, which is just shy of where I would say just east of Stumphole and south. So southeast of where Stumphole is, if you're familiar with the Santee Cooper Lake system. Then they showed a map of Lake Moultrie, which is the lower lake. We have an upper lake and lower lake, which makes the Santee Cooper Lakes. And it's literally, if you take the Lake Moultrie, it's pretty much kind of an oblong circle, and then draw a line straight across it. And then everything south of it. Everything. On the upper lake, east of I-95, they want to take it all the way down and then kind of give it a little button hook at the top. And you got this little small area, which is right in here. And it is the area of, I would say, east of Ferguson's Landing. So it'd be Spires Landing, Pintail Island, those areas. They want to take pretty much the entire lake system. And as a proposal to if anybody wants to sell or give away. Well, that is going to greatly reduce the area in the public area on the Santee Cooper Lakes. Greatly reduce it. And where you had some historical areas to hunt, it is now going to be in the refuge. Now, let me just back up a second. A while ago, President Trump came out and said, I want more opportunities for people to hunt and fish on the refuge system areas. So they finally came out. U.S. Fish and Game made a list, and it is out. I think it's either 32 or 35 states have opened up for waterfowl hunting. South Carolina is not one of them. So I feel that since we're not one of them now, what are the chances that they may open these areas up if they gain access to them, if they are able to purchase them? If they're going to are they going to open them up? Is it going to be open 7 days a week, 3 days a week, lottery hunts, draw hunts? You just don't know. And I'm here to tell you, I'm a little concerned about that. I don't want any of this to be taken away from us. Other things is on the Santee National Wildlife Refuge, the Canty Bay area, Black Bottom, and some other locations. Come November, you cannot go onto the refuge via water. The refuge, and you can access it. I'm here to tell you, you're at Jack's Creek, you make a hard left and you're on the refuge. Well, they close that down to all boating. They close it down to all fishing. If you look at the map, that Jack's Creek Landing, which I think is now some type of retreat, relaxed retreat or something had bought it. That would actually be within the boundaries. Cody, After Five Outdoors, just to give you a little idea, if you remember when you were down here hunting with me, and we went to Billup Slough, which is that big open area where we saw a bunch of ducks. They were all high birds, and we did the Christmas video. They're talking about taking that and all the way down the lake and turning that into a refuge. It's a proposal. So, he just remembered a porcelain. Okay. So it is closed to boating. It is closed to fishing. And what's to say that they won't do the same? That area, that Jack's Creek area, the Billup Slough area, the Jack's Creek Hatchery, Basin Island, around the Hickory Top Flats, over there down Cane Branch and the Super Flats, and all those trees that are in there it's phenomenal crappie fishing. And if they're going to be closed at Candy Bay, what's to say they're not going to be closed in these areas? And again, I'm telling everybody, this is all a huge proposal. I'm against it. And here's the thing. The area that I am discussing, yes, there are some wildlife management areas, but it's on the land, the islands. The water is not. There is the Green Tree Reservoir, Hickory Top Green Tree Reservoir. That is a WMA. They only hunt it on Saturdays, I believe. It's a walk-in place. All these areas will now be under the refuge, and the only entities that own any of this water or land is Santee Cooper Co-op Electric. They own the water to the high water mark, of course, and after the high water mark is private property, and there's between Jacks Creek and all the way down towards Sparkleberry Landing and beyond is well over 200 corn ponds. So it looks like, I'm not saying this is happening. I'm saying what it looks like. Perception is 99.9% of everybody's reality. Looks like they want to put a buffer zone between the corn ponds and people hunting. And I've been trying, but I can't get that. I cannot get that map up. So if you follow me tonight, and I will be doing a long content video on this later on in the week, which will be put out one night this week, and I'll have the maps and that kind of stuff for y'all to take a look at. I'm against all this. We've been public hunting this area since the lakes have been built. Again, the only people that own it is Santee Co-op, Santee Cooper Co-op, Electric Co-op, and the state. It is ours. It is the people of South Carolina, not the federal government's property. It is our property. There would be no private sales unless it is land above the high water mark. And if they want to turn that into a refuge, that's fine with me. But their proposed area is nothing but water and islands, which is some of the I'm not saying some of the best in South Carolina, but it's historically the best duck hunting areas in South Carolina. So I am highly opposed to this. In the description of this video or this live stream, when y'all can look at it in a couple days, when it comes back on for y'all to be able to view it again, there's an email there for a Dorothy Wells or FWS. That's the contact person. So if you are for or against it, listen, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do or how to do it. But if we had 200,000 waterfowlers who opposed the drain tile system, and U.S. Fish and Wildlife said, no, y'all spoke. We need to get that. We need to get this ball rolling. Now, I have posted this stuff all over Facebook today. I've tried to answer as many questions as I could on Facebook. Of course, I was working today. And it was really hard to keep up with all of it. But again, this isn't just duck hunting. We're talking about fishing too. It possibly could shut down the fishing during the months of between November and February. Now, I know that may not mean much to some of you northern guys who freeze up in late October, but we have fishing here 365 days a year. There is no fishing season. There are times to be on the water to catch fish, but there's really no fishing season here. We can fish 365 days out of the year. So it's going to hamper that. It's because if you can't put a boat in and go to these places, you're going to limit access, and there's very limited access on that side anyway. You won't be able to get a boat in, and then if you go above everything, you won't be able to come down because that strip that they're proposing goes all the way across the lake. It goes all the way across the lake, and it's crazy. Whoever thought of this? I mean, I have some conspiracy theories on it, but and again, we are. We have. There's a lot more to be said. I've already sent an email. I tried to put my email in the description here. It wouldn't let me because I only have 5,000 characters, and I wrote a very, very lengthy email. But if any of y'all want a copy of it, and then phrase it the way you want it, because I had this, I am a South Carolina duck hunter. I was talking about being a South Carolina duck hunter, and hunting and this and that. But there are other areas that will be affected. They're talking about going from 30,000 acres of refuge that we have presently to over 300,000 acres. And that's just not the Santee National Wildlife Refuge. That is the Santee National Wildlife Refuge and other refuges along the coastal reserve, some other locations, and also into Georgia. Let's see if I can pull that information up. The proposal involves here in South Carolina, the Santee National Wildlife Refuge, the Cape Romain National Wildlife Refuge, the Ernest F. Hollings Basin National Wildlife Refuge, and the Waccamaw National Wildlife Refuge. That's just here in South Carolina. That does not include what they're talking about in Georgia. And right now, the only two states that I know that they're talking about are North and South Carolina. So if y'all have any questions, start putting them in the comments. I'll try to get to them. But this is something that I feel that we need to address very, very quickly. We have till, I believe it's September 19th. I maybe, let me see if I can pull that one up. I believe it's September 19th. Let's see. September 17th. We have till September 17th to email our comments and let's see here. Who's here? Anti, if you can hear me, it's Dorothy, DOROTHY _Wells, WELLS at FWS.gov. If he doesn't have that up or didn't hear me, I'll try to put that up in the comments, but it is in my description of this video. And like I said, when we're done with tonight, I'm actually going to start working on a longer content. I've got some other information that I just can't think about right now. I have to keep going back and forth. So I figured, hey, why not? Let's do a longer content. I swear I wish I could figure a way to put this put this map up. I cannot figure it out to save my life. Let's see here. Thank you, Anti. Where do I need to go to? Let's see here if I can do this. Lord knows I hope I don't click the wrong button. Here we go. Open. Well, I tried. Here we go. All right. Now, I don't know. This is kind of a small map here. This area right here is the upper lake. And I don't know how to make this bigger. Honestly, I don't. But this area and all this in hash mark. So the refuge itself. All right. So you see this red line right here. I don't know if you can see it. That is I-95. So the refuge itself is right here. But as you can see, they're hash marking all the way up here, all the way down the upper lake, and then half of the lower lake. So this is their proposed areas. I know this isn't the best map that I have, but it's honestly the only one I have until I can figure it out how to make it bigger. But literally, they're taking half of Lake Moultrie, the proposed half of Lake Moultrie, and then they're taking pretty much all of the upper lake, other than just a few little spots here and there, is proposal. And I'm not talking next to the land. There's some of it next to the land, but there's a lot of it that is in open water. Open water, I mean, completely 100% open water. And you're going to have boaters. I mean, this is South Carolina. People, I mean, we boat and fish 365 days here. And they're going to close it down for 5 months. Whatever, from November to February. That is completely 100% nuts. And whoever thought of this or thought about it, if it's in the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, they're crazy. They're absolutely 100% nuts. 90% of duck stamp sales come from public duck hunters. They'll lose. South Carolina, they'll lose that money from South. We'll just go somewhere. We may buy them, but we're going to go somewhere else. You might as well drain the lake and turn it into a parking lot and put another Disney World on it, which, by the way, they're trying to put a casino on one side of the lake. That may have something to do with it. The other half, again, conspiracy theorist in me, is the rich people and the politicians who have those over 200 duck ponds want to put a buffer between hunters and their property. That's, again, I have no facts, no basis to that. Again, that's just the conspiracy theory that's going through my head. But it makes you think about it, and it makes you say, well, okay, why? So what other reason is there? Here is a fact. The Santee National Wildlife Refuge, they only have 2 or 3 people that can do some work there. So how in the world, and they don't even take care of the refuge that they got right now. It's in disarray. They don't plant anymore. They got beautiful impoundment, or had. They do not, they can't even take care of that. They can't even plant it. They actually had a farmer, a rice farmer here, a local rice farmer, who said, hey, you let me plant it. You let me plant it in rice and let me harvest it. I'll leave some standing for the ducks and I'll get the rest. They stopped that. A Cormorant Refuge. Yeah, that's exactly what they, so they can't even take care of what they got. How are they even going to think to take care of that additional property? How are they going to manage it? How are they going to manage it for water or anything else? I mean, there's no way they can manage it for waterfowl. They can't. They don't have the manpower. They don't have the manpower or the money. How are they going to manage for anything else? Any other wildlife, shorebirds, avian predators, avian birds, your hawks and your eagles and your ospreys. They wouldn't be able to manage for that either. How are they going to manage for deer? They won't be able to. How are they going to enforce it? How are they going to enforce the laws if somebody comes barreling? And one other thing is, on that upper lake where the proposed areas are, the Santee River actually runs through it. So how are they going to patrol that area when it's the close off time? If they get that area, if, again, it's proposed, and if they were to get that area, how are they going to enforce it? They don't have enough. There ain't enough game wardens in the United States to come to South Carolina, federal game wardens. How are they going to enforce it? They can't. They won't be able to. Again, this is, like I keep saying, and I'm going to keep saying it because it is proposed. They're asking for our comments. So I'm here to tell you, I am against it. And I hope that you guys that are listening now or here now, you guys that may be listening later to do a rewatch on this, I hope that y'all are against it and that y'all will send a letter to U.S. Fish and Game, regardless of what state you're in. Hey, listen, we don't live in the Prairie Pothole region, but we know how important the duck factory is. And we all came together as duck hunters and told them, no, we need to do the same thing for these refuges. Again, I am all about conservation. I am all about giving them refuges, a place to, ducks a place to rest. I'm all about it. I would like to see them open up on occasion. I would like to see some draw hunts, some lottery hunts. That just opens up more opportunities, but it's not open all the time. This would literally close it down. And I mean, good Lord, it takes almost 7 years to get a lottery for a state WMA. I can imagine what it would take to get a federal lottery draw on Santee. It'd be absolutely crazy. And yeah, Scott, thank you for saying that. Somebody said something to somebody. Somebody put it in somebody's ear. Do we have liberals in the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service? Yeah, we do. We do. And we all know we do. Are they pushing this just to put another, just to stick Donald Trump in the side again with a stick? I mean, seriously, are they? And I got it. You know, man, you sound like a conspiracy. I'm asking questions. Could this be an answer on this particular subject? Could it have been a when they did the drain tiles? Could it have been somebody else pushing for it, and then they got so much pushback that they went, no. Let's see here. I got to keep going to my list. I wrote a bunch of stuff down, guys. I keep having a hard time remembering all of it. All right. So my questions that I, in my email, I sent to, that I sent to U.S. Fish and Game, this Dorothy Wells. So when we're talking about potentially expanding the federal refuge boundaries by as much as 300,000 acres, I want answers. And my first question, how much of this proposed area is already publicly owned or managed? All of it. All of it. I can answer that right now. Yeah, Santee Cooper Electric Co-op owns the water because they have a power plant and all. But they gave that to the public many, many, many years ago. We're grandfathered in. The citizens and the people who, the citizens of South Carolina and people who visit the public own that. And we just can't go out and build stuff on it. We got to get permits and stuff or get permission. But they gifted the use of the water to us many years ago. And I mean, you know, you're talking like in the 50s, the 1950s. So we're grandfathered into we own that. The state manages WMAs all up and down the lake. Where me and Cody hunted that one day, we did a Christmas video there. So if Cody's trying to remember, there's all these little islands all over the place. The islands themselves are wildlife management areas. And people can go on those islands and hunt deer. Some of them are big islands, some are small islands, but they can go and hunt deer. They just have to have a WMA permit. But the water is public. It is open. And yes, there are some other WMAs like the Green Tree Reservoir, which is state-owned, state-run. How much involves Santee Cooper land and water? Again, all of it. All of it. Every last bit of it. Again, they gifted us the use of that water for recreational use, hunting, fishing, boating. They gifted that to us when they built the lakes. Why is the additional federal refuge management necessary? Now, again, I'm all about conservation. I'm all about the refuge managing. But again, as I've said earlier, they can't even manage what they got right now. There is one refuge manager that's handling three separate refuges right now. On the Santee National Wildlife Refuge, there's only about 2 or 3 people that can actually do some work. they can't even manage what they have. So why do we need federal refuge management? Why? They can't manage what they got. So why do they need to take more land? Could additional areas eventually become seasonal sanctuary zones? Again, I've explained that. At the Santee National Wildlife Refuge in Caney Bay, you cannot go into the refuge via water. You can drive your car in there and you can get out and walk a trail and go to an observation point, but you cannot drive a boat in there and you can't fish. So could these additional areas of, again, the question, could additional areas eventually become seasonal sanctuary zones? Yes, very, very easily. And then what happens to the existing hunting access? Now, I know a lot of you guys probably, a lot of you guys here don't know the area. So from I-95 up, way up to the swamp to Spalkerberry Landing, you got Polly's Landing. It's a landing. You can use it. You have the Jacks Creek Landing, or now it's called Relaxed something or another. You have to pay for those landings. You have to pay to launch your boat. You have Billups, or the Carolina something. I forget what they call it now, but the old Billups Landing, you got to pay, and they won't even allow duck hunters to put in there. So you might as well knock that out. The next one up is Hickory Top Landing. It's an unimproved landing, very hard landing to get into if you got shallow water. The next one up is Elliott's Landing. Again, you have to pay for it. And then the next one up above the trestle is Pax Landing, which is a state-run landing. It's the only state-run landing on that end. And then you have Spalkerberry Landing. Again, it is a state-run landing as well, but it's up in the swamp. I mean, way up. So if they pull in all of those areas, Jacks Creek, Billups, those places are going to close down. Those landings will have to close down if they're incorporated into the refuge. Who's going to want to go fishing when they like to go fishing in November through February? Because I'll tell you something, really good crappie fishing that time of year. They're not going to be able to put a boat in. Nobody's going to be able to put a boat in there. They won't be able to do it because they can't put a boat in. They can't drive through the refuge. What happens to, again, we just copied that. What happens to fishing and boating access? We just covered that. And who gets to make those decisions in the future? Who is going to make the decisions to allow us and how we can hunt and fish if all this becomes a refuge? It is absolutely, and I hate to use this word, but it's absolutely asinine. Whoever thought this stuff up, they didn't think it through, and they didn't think that people wouldn't get upset about it. I've been all over Facebook today. I posted on my two accounts, my Matt Wongray Facebook. I posted on Daddy Duck. I posted in the Carolina Wildlife Syndicate. I posted in all the South Carolina boards that I could find. Humble Outdoors, I believe I posted there as well. Wildlife management boards, different Facebook. So I've posted all this stuff all over the place, and I'm trying to get people engaged. I've invited people to come in. I've invited people to get on panel. Most of them said, a matter of fact, all of them said, sorry, couldn't do it today. It was too short of a notice. I understand that. But we really need to get behind this. If you'll go to my Daddy Duck Facebook or to my Matt Wongray Facebook, find that post and share it. Share it out to everybody you know. Tag as many people in it. Let's get this ball rolling and get emails sent out, and let's get 200,000 emails sent to U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service saying that we oppose the thought of expanding until you can absolutely 100% take care of the refuges that we have now. We got to take care of the refuges we got now before they can start getting more land and taking more land away from us. And public duck hunters, we're on the extinction list. Mark Taylor, this would put the final nail in the coffin for South Carolina duck hunters. There's almost no other lakes left to hunt on. Amen, brother. Our lakes are everything. Every lake we got, people are building. Santee, that area that I'm talking about is pretty much you can't build on it. It's swamp, but where they can build, they have built. Lake Murray, Lake Wateree. There used to be some fine duck hunting, and there still is in some spots, but it's shrinking. We don't need to shrink anymore. And U.S. Fish and Game, I call it U.S. Fish and Game, guys, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, they're trying to shrink. I don't know if it's the whole entity or someone in the entity or some politicians, some rich. I don't know. I don't know who's prodding who. I don't know how that's going, but they're trying to run us off. And I'm here to tell you, not on my watch. I am going to fight and I'm going to fuss about this until I hear something that they say, all right, guys, we're sorry. We'll just leave this alone. We're not gonna worry about it. Because I can tell you now, there was a place down on the lower lake that used to be a public area. I believe it was a public area. People down there were begging the state of South Carolina to take it over as a wildlife management area for duck hunting. And the state didn't want it. I think it was too small. I don't know all the details. Well, Santee Cooper gave it to somebody. Because Santee Cooper doesn't want to hear they don't want to get the emails. They do not want to hear all the fussing and cussing that's going on about the lake level or the giant savanna or whatever it is, not enough grass, whatever it is. They're tired of it. So they want somebody else to be responsible for it. That's what I think is one of the major drives. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'll admit it. But in my personal opinion, I think that's the drive there. It is absolutely crazy. Let's see, Mark. Ain't many places left at Wateree. I've hunted there for 50 years. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I hunted there when I was a kid a couple of times. Yeah, and you're right. There's not many places left to hunt. Lake Murray is the same way. You go up to Greenwood up in the upstate and you got houses every 25 to 50 feet, and there's no places to set up anymore because you'll be within that 300-yard zone. And you'll have Karens out there yelling at you. But we got to stop this guy. So I'm asking for a favor. Find that email. I posted the email address up. Go to my Facebook account. You should see the letter there. If you don't see the letter there, if you can't find it, matter of fact, before I leave when I leave here tonight, I will repost it with the letter that I'm sending. Write something similar, or just tell them that you oppose the acquisition or the proposed acquisition of the refuges getting bigger. I would let's see here. All right, Scott, I'll get it. Opposition to proposed NWR boundary expansion in South Carolina, and I would also include that as Georgia. As a matter of fact, Scott, I got it right here. And I am copying it. And I'm gonna put it on my Daddy Duck Facebook so I know it's there for you guys. It's posted. It's posted on my Daddy Duck Facebook account. I just posted the letter, the email. So I wish the map that I do have was bigger so you could see it. I just don't know how to. In the heat of this, I don't know how to make it bigger so I can post it. But we, as a duck hunting community, need to band together. Again, I don't know what the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is thinking right now. Between drain tiles and then this, it is absolutely 100% crazy. Absolutely crazy. If let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do this. So again, there's the email and there's the subject line. Dorothy_Wells at FWS.gov. The subject line should be proposed NWR expansions in Georgia and South Carolina. And if any of you guys who are in the South Carolina, Georgia area, please, we need to start posting this. You can go and get it off my site, off my Facebooks. If I'm pretty sure I shared all that stuff. If I didn't, I'll do it again tonight. The proposal itself, to be honest, was poorly written. It didn't give a lot of information. Again, it's an R. They're asking for comments, so it's an RFI. but the proposal areas are absolutely nuts. And the fact of the matter is, if they can do it here, they could possibly do it anywhere else. Anti, thank you. Is that the link? Is that the link, or is that just what they're saying? Like I said, guys, it's crazy. I don't know what they're thinking. Um, I got no clue. I mean, I'm actually flabbergasted. But explains why South Carolina wasn't on the expanded hunting refuge list. Is that a possibility? Is that a possibility? You know, they're going to have to come up with something really, really good in order to change my mind. Now, this wasn't in the article, but there's some folks out there that don't understand it, which is understandable. A lot of people, I'm not from South Carolina. Why should it worry me? And it should worry you, because if they can do it here, they can do it anywhere. And all they're doing is taking opportunities away from us instead of giving us opportunities. So in order for them, if they get this property, it's not like they're going to get it all at one time. It's not like they're going to get it all tomorrow. Again, it's a proposed areas that they're looking at. And I've said that 100 times on here tonight. But if they get it, they're going to start small. It's going to start small, and it's going to be too small to do anything with. So that's just they're just going to be taking little pieces at a time. And then maybe in 50 years, they may have enough pieces that they can open it up. No way. We have over 200 from Jacks Creek Landing past Balkaberry, over 200 mini refuges from private landowners who have corn ponds. Those are the refuges. Those right there. Little bites, before you know it, they'll have it all. Exactly right, Jeff. The federal people have no business in state in public lands. Period. What's up, Randy? Guys, in the beginning of this live stream, I sent out prayers for Randy Nettles and his mom. Randy has just showed up. Welcome in, Randy. I hope your mom's doing great. Hope things are improving. It'll be similar to marriage. Start by taking out the trash. Before you know it, you'll be cleaning, vacuuming, and doing the laundry too. Yeah. Thought you were going to be a little more poetic on that one, Cody, but I guess not. So, I got to ask, does anybody have any questions about what we're talking about tonight that I might be able to answer, or at least a question that when I send another email, because I'm going to be sending them, that I can ask these questions. I will tell you guys straight up, and if they're in here listening, you know who you are, but I ticked off two of them, 2 U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service people. I ticked them off. I wasn't a happy camper. And the only answer, I didn't get any answers. But all I got was a little bit of a runaround. And, you need to talk to so-and-so. Oh, you need to talk to so-and-so. You just need to send emails. I don't have that information. Then why is your name on the list to call? So, So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I ticked both of them off, and don't really care. And don't really care. At 61 years old, I've been hunting this Santee Cooper Lakes for over 50 years, and there's too many memories out there for me to roll up, lay on my side, and quit. I'm going to fight this battle. And I hope that y'all fight it with me. We need to get this out there. We need to get the people involved. We need to get these emails out. She had surgery on the wrist today. Got a long road ahead. Well, you let her know that we're praying for her, buddy. I hope it's a dark gray van. And I'm looking for little black helicopters. I really do not care. Honestly, I do not care. I get upset about a lot of things. When you start messing with my duck hunting, I'm gonna really get upset. Again, these are all proposed areas. This thing is all proposed. They are looking for comments. So let's give them those comments. Let's send them an opposition letter that we oppose the taking of these properties, these public properties that duck hunters have been utilizing since the 1940s. All right. They're taking they've been taking bit by bit, and now they want it. Now they're all of a sudden they want to take more. No, it needs to stop and stop now. I got, I hate to say it because I hate restrictions, but I can deal with some restrictions. I can deal with some of that. What I can't deal with is the federal government taking over. And you know as well as I do, guys, when the federal government, the worst things in the world are I'm from the government and I'm here to help. No, you're not. You don't know how to help. You don't. And they don't. And they're not going to because they could care a rat's butt about you. I don't even know what the U.S. is up to. They're supposed to work for. Yeah, they're supposed to. The windows on the short van taste like sugar. Anyway, but anybody have any questions? Need to know. At least a question. At least if you have a question that if I can't answer it, I can at least address it. At least address it. And just so I kind of get an idea, I know there's a handful in here, but if you're here for the first time, In the Blind generally isn't this feisty. It's usually so laid back, it's not even funny. And for that, I apologize. But I think it's something we all need to hear, listen to, and start getting on the stick and getting our. He's usually not this hangry. No, usually I'm not. And man, I had a real good meal today for supper. Yesterday, I cooked some what we call country style ribs. It's that meat that's right in front of the shoulder blade of a hog, and they cut them into. It looks like ribs, but they don't have the rib bones. Occasionally, you'll get a little shoulder bone in there. But I cooked some of those up yesterday, and we had leftovers and some loaded potatoes. It was very, very good. So I'm not hangry. I'm angry. Like I said, I found out about this at lunchtime today, and I called a few people, and I know a few people that I talked to thought I had lost my mind. Trump giveth and the bureaucraties taketh away. Yeah, ain't that the truth? But like I said, That's a staple meat up here. It's a staple meat down here too. Um, I do love them, dude. Man, they're so good. Especially put them on the smoker, season them up, put them on the smoker for about 2 hours. You're good. Um, as far as this goes, it's about all I've got at this point in time. Again, I'm hoping to do a long video on this later in the week. As soon as I do it, it's coming straight out. It's not going to be a Sunday kind of thing. It's going to be as soon as I get it finished. I'm going to post this long content. Hopefully, I'll have some more information. Kingdom, what's up? Don't lie to all the rookies. They already saw us duck dancing around the fire. So your duck calls yelling duck power. Hey, that's cool, Randy. Yeah, as soon as let me know as soon as you can, buddy. But I'm hoping to get a longer content video on this later in the week. Again, if you go to my if it's not there, if the actual post is not there, where I copied from U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, let me know and I will get it out again. I know I posted it so many times a day and shared it out that I may have forgotten a few places. So, but if you can find it, share it out to your friends and family. Let them know. Say, hey, we need to write a letter. I know we're not from South Carolina, Georgia, but we can still write a letter and get that email out. Be greatly appreciated. We need to come together on this. Anything else? Let's take about 10 minutes and just shoot the bull, I guess. Let's see here. Teal season is coming up quicker than a lot of us can imagine. Less than 20 days in some states and about a month in my state. We got about 30 days, 31, 32 days, and the season will open up here. Deer season pretty much opens up in our state September 1. Early goose season starts September 1. Dove season starts first Saturday of September. So hopefully we'll have some footage of something. Did I miss something, Jeff? Salt Creek. Hey, Salt Creek calls are good for. Oh, I thought you were talking about Salt Creek ammo. Check them out. Okay. Some news from the north. Minnesota DNR was doing some duck banding the other night on the pool north of me. Good numbers of mallards, blue-winged teal. A lot of very young ducklings, abnormal. Okay, for this time of year. Yes, I am ready for cold weather. You know what, Randy? I've seen two different models. So I don't know. I've seen some guys saying we're gonna have a cold winter, and I've seen other guys saying this we're gonna have a wet winter. So I don't know what we're gonna have, but I'm ready to get out of these 108-degree days that we've been having here. Skull Creek. All right. I prefer the red-haired model. Yeah, it's been hot here, dude. It's been like 108 degrees last couple of days. Um, Actual temperature about 98, 99, and then it feels like 108 to 113. Um, I am ready for some cold weather. Um, and I'm ready. I always tell people I can always put on more clothes, but I personally can only take off so much. You don't want to see me take off too much. So, all righty. Well, I would love it to be in the 20s around Halloween. I would absolutely love it. That ought nothing else. Duck season won't be in, but that will fire the deer up. I have no idea what that says. No idea whatsoever. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to call it a night. We've been over here over an hour. I wanted to get this information out to you on the refuges and their proposals to take anywhere from up to 300,000 acres of public land and put it in a refuge. Again, I'm 100% against it. I hope you are too. I hope that y'all will write an email. All that information has been put out. To U.S. Fishing Game, that is Dorothy _ Wells at FWS.gov, I believe is the account. But I hope y'all do the same. Again, all right, real quick. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services here in South Carolina and Georgia are proposing to, if the land comes available, they're going to acquire land and put it into the refuge system. This land that they are proposing, I have a map. It just didn't look good on here. Pretty much takes all of the upper lake of Santee and half of the lower lake. Only if somebody decides to sell or give it to them. We're talking about some of the best for South Carolina. That is some of the only public duck hunting we got left. And they're wanting to incorporate it in the refuge. If they do that, the way the refuge is set up, the one that's next to it, all this property, there will be no boating or no fishing from November to February. Now, this is not something that's going to happen tomorrow. They are in a comment error right now where they're asking for comments. In the description of this video, I have put in the email address you can email it to. And throughout this whole chat, I have put that information. If you go to my Daddy Duck Facebook, it should be there, is the letter, the actual letter, the email that I sent to U.S. Fish and Wildlife. Also, it should be in either my Matt Wangray Facebook or my Daddy Duck Facebook account. The proposal should be in there. I'm going to double check when I get off of here in a few minutes to make sure it is. If it isn't, I'll put it in as soon as I can tonight. But that's it. That's all it is. I'm 100% against it. They don't need to be taking our public land. So, guys, I do appreciate each and every one of you coming on here. I do appreciate each and every one of y'all listening. And I hope and pray y'all have a great week this week. Anyway, y'all take care of yourselves, and we will see y'all next time on Daddy Duck 365.